Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week, and we spun off a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. We're at 163. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out on Instagram asking for questions. Once we gather them, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
One quick housekeeping item. The Motivo 365 tire giveaway from Nitto Tire is still underway. I'll put the link in the description below. All you need to do is fill it out to enter to win a free set of tires for one Canadian viewer and a free set of tires for a US viewer. These are performance all-weather tires, so click on that link, fill it in, and you're entered.
Good luck.
All right, your questions from Instagram.
I'm currently driving a 2016 CR-V Touring. I've been very happy with it. In particular, the fuel efficiency, the low cost, and ease of maintenance. I do all my mechanical work, reliability, and some of the features found in the Touring trim, such as the heated steering wheel. I'd like to eventually replace it with a crossover that is a more comfortable, softer ride. First and foremost, a better stereo, similar and better fuel efficiency, and similar reliability and ease of maintenance.
Why don't you just go back?
Wowzers.
Why don't you just get a CR-V hybrid?
I was going to say.
And go back to Honda. Like I've always wondered this about people who go through a long list, which was a little shorter, about how much they love their vehicle from this brand, and then they want to look somewhere else. It's like if the brand has been good to you and you like the brand, why don't you give them another shot?
Plus, keep in mind you have a 2016 model, so the new CR-V is quite comfortable. The hybrid in particular is very smooth. However, there are other options for you. I know you had said that you wanted to stay within the $10,000 range between your CR-V and then another vehicle. But really, when you get into a softer suspension and a more comfortable drive, usually you have to move up to the premium category. So I would suggest a Lexus NX or RX. How about a Buick Envision? They're actually really comfortable. Cabin.
I was thinking Buick too. That's one to consider. Yeah.
Volvo is another good one. Maybe the plug-in hybrid though, because there is no hybrid.
I find that you could go to Ford with the Escape, and they have a hybrid as well, and it's got really nice road feel and is comfortable, so that's another one you consider. This is just, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to answer your question for you fully, because you are going to have to go and do some legwork. Because what is comfortable for you, what is the size you need, all of those things, you just got to get out there and try them out.
And I think even with seats, you know, what we may find to be comfortable, you may not find very comfortable, so it is important to do the legwork and try them yourself. I'm in Ontario and want to lease a 3-row SUV, mostly for highway driving. Which would you recommend other than the TX? Less than $80,000. I prefer something comfortable and easy to drive.
Well, if you don't want to get the TX, get the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max. It's a lot less expensive. So what were the criteria again? You're in where?
Just a 3-row and highway driving. 3-row SUV, highway driving, not the TX. So I'm wondering if maybe... I actually find the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max to be quite comfortable. I think it would be a great highway
because
vehicle.
It's got a different hybrid system than the regular hybrid. We put a video out on the regular hybrid last week. So instead of having a 2.5 liter hybrid similar to a RAV4 hybrid, they up the ante by getting a 2.4 liter turbo and a more powerful hybrid system, which really brings the horsepower and torque way up, which is going to make it, we even said in that video, which one would you choose for highway driving? It would be the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max. And we've come to the realization that it's not worth the money to spend extra on the TX.
No.
Just get the Toyota. It's a great product.
Now, I have a few other options. Going back to Buick again, the Buick Enclave. We really liked it. Super comfortable, great for the highway.
A bit noisy though. That
turbo, just a little bit.
Try it and see if the Turbo 4 is quiet enough for you.
Lincoln Aviator. And, well, Zach's favorite.
The Durango. If you want a great highway, like, listen, I'm telling you something, people don't realize that this is a little gem in the auto industry. The Durango has proven to be very reliable. They've been making it forever.
Long time.
And it has a platform that was borrowed. Actually, they used to own, Mercedes-Benz used to own Chrysler. Remember, it was Daimler Chrysler about 20 years ago. And part of the divorce from that marriage was the platform that they used for the Grand Cherokee and the Durango. So think of Mercedes-Benz E-Class platform.
Yeah.
So it has great road manners, and people who have them love them. I love driving them. Every time I drive one, I go, that's a really well done vehicle.
By the way, our first question, I just wanted to also add
I've got one
for
as
that
well.
one.
I've got one
yeah.
as well.
The Mercedes.
Okay, I was going to go 3, 2, 1.
That?
No,
Oh.
I was going to do a 3, 2. Let's do a 3, 2, 1.
Okay,
I got
3,
one
2,
I'm going
1.
to throw in there.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Forester.
GLC, PHEV. Fantastic, but the GLC, just the gas model, Mercedes-Benz has really tuned that for comfort.
Forester. More comfortable than a CRV. And because you do your own wrenching, they're easy to work on.
Yeah.
So that's one to consider.
And a hybrid, right? Maybe
Hybrid's
the hybrid,
coming.
you'd be fine with that.
Hybrid's coming.
Your program is the only one my wife and I enjoy together. Well, thank you. Trying to decide whether to keep our 2017 Chevy Impala, 124,000 miles, that has been no trouble and well maintained, or shop for a newer car. I think it really comes down to, it sounds like you like the Impala. Sometimes when it gets up to like 124,000 miles and it's been so good to you and you're happy with it, unless you want updated technology.
Just have to say hi to our neighbor. Hi, Mo.
Oh yeah, hi Mo.
See you, Mo.
I have to say, I would just keep it.
Yeah, the other thing is, if you go to trade in an Impala with that many miles and of that age, it's not worth much, right?
No.
So sometimes it's maybe in addition to. So keep the Impala as a good second car, and you're not going to be putting as many miles on it.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in adding more to the fleet.
I'm aware of that, yes.
I like having a roster. But hey, listen, I understand if that's not financially the way you can run. Yes, you're getting to an age where things are going to start going wrong.
Yeah.
And you're at mileage where things need to be fixed. So maybe not a bad idea, or you can just start and just keep running it until some things start to pop up and then get rid of it.
And gee, there are so many options if you plan on staying with a car and you want something spacious and comfortable. The Honda Accord is great, the hybrid, the Camry hybrid. And if you want something smaller, you can go for a Civic hybrid, which we are massive fans of. So it's really going to come down to whether you want to part with it. I don't know how old you guys are, but if you have kids who are learning to drive, or maybe you have grandkids who are learning to drive, sometimes a vehicle like that is an excellent option for them.
Beat on that one.
I'm considering purchasing a Mazda CX-70 Signature Inline 6 this year, but I'm in no rush. I know the model has had transmission issues, which have been somewhat addressed with software updates. Would you recommend the car in its current form, or would you recommend waiting for the 2026 model year? Any issues besides the transmission that would prevent you from recommending the car?
Well, we've driven it over the last few years since it's been out, and the first go round I wasn't impressed with it, and then the latest one, we drove it just a month or so ago. We both came away saying they've really addressed a lot of the issues, and that's the nice thing about a brand like Mazda, pick your poison, that is doing continuous improvement. So there've been a whole lot of software updates. It's still not perfect though. That's the issue.
Not perfect. Interestingly enough, a friend of ours had reached out, was interested in the CX-50. And went in, particularly the hybrid, but felt like it was too small when they got in it. Seats weren't as comfortable as they had hoped. They tried the CX-70 Inline 6 and absolutely loved it. And of course, she reached out and said, what do we have to worry about? And I just said, it's the transmission. It's not perfect. It's also a new vehicle. I mean, reliability issues can pop up, sometimes not.
Should we bring up our little story driving the CX-90, Andrea?
So we were in Florida. We flew into Orlando, and we had to go to Daytona, which is about an hour and 20-minute drive. And for the Daytona Rolex 24-hour race, because they were doing a Miata launch, and we went to that. And so we got in the car, and the guy delivered the car at the airport, and he's like, all right, it's all in the navigation, away you go. The head unit froze.
It froze.
It froze for an hour and 20 minutes. It froze for an hour and 17 minutes. So I'm almost the whole way there. I'm used to using my phone to use the navigation. The whole system didn't work. So the thing about the CX-70, the CX-90, it's a new platform, new engine, new transmission, new infotainment system, and a whole bunch of other things. So the longer you wait, the more updates and changes there'll be to the product.
And you're not in a rush. I also want to mention when we got in it to drive back to Orlando, it was working.
Yeah, it worked.
So
After that, it was fine.
It was fine. So go figure what happened there. But that's where the frustration comes into play. If that happens to you, you've got to call the dealership. In our case, it just kind of reset itself, but it becomes annoying.
Our PR rep did say there is a way to reboot the back end of the head unit.
Yeah.
It's like Control-Alt-Delete, one hand on the horn, car on reverse, pump the brakes 5 times, something like that. Gets it to wake
Did
up.
not say that.
He did, well, he said something like that.
Yes.
There is a process to get it going again. But basically, we landed at 5 in the morning, and all we kept thinking about is, we've got to drive an hour and 20 minutes, and then we can get in touch with a pillow. We did a red eye. Andrea and I don't do red eyes unless we're flying overseas. We had to do a red eye. We did one for the team.
Well, we came from one event to the next.
And it was Florida.
Yeah.
And it was freezing. It was so cold. Remember where they had the beach, snow on the beach in Florida and snow in New Orleans? Yeah, that's when we were there.
Well,
it was a great event.
It was
we loved
fabulous.
it. And we left all of our paraphernalia on the plane.
I know. We bought all this Rolex 24 stuff.
I bought a really nice green Rolex hat.
We had it up, a separate bag from our luggage.
And who was, no, I'm not going to say that. I can't say that, Andrea. It was overhead, and we left it on the plane. And Air Canada says, oh, we're looking for it. And they write back, we're looking for it. We're looking for it.
They couldn't find it.
So whoever groomed the aircraft has a nice Rolex hat.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And shirts, like some really nice stuff.
We just we could have gone to the Rolex 24 and just burned $200.
We did. By the way, it was so cold there. We came from the Forerunner event in San Diego and then went to Florida on the red eye. It was the only way to get there on time.
That was fine.
For the event. But I didn't bring, because I thought the weather was going to be similar. When I looked at the forecast, it really was similar. But when I got there, the wind picked up and it was absolutely freezing. So we actually had to go buy me another hoodie or something. Like I need another hoodie.
I think we did a little Walmart run. No, it was Target.
Target.
We went to Target. The funny thing is we got there, it was freezing cold. By the time we left, it was sunny and hot. Anyway, it was a fun event. How did we get on that? I can't remember now.
Hi from Memphis. Oh, the CX-90.
Oh, that's right.
Hi from Memphis, Tennessee. I tune in every episode. I'm looking to trade in my 2019 Kia Sorento SXL for something larger and more powerful. I was looking at a Honda or Nissan, but I don't think the new ones are as reliable as ones from 2016 to 2022. Yes, my SUV is paid off, but I know I'm ready to enjoy my commute in something more modern and efficient. Do you think it's worth it just to get the new Sorento?
Okay, I'm just going to do a little public service announcement here. A little shorter. Do you like the long ones?
I don't mind the long ones, but maybe the viewers are sick of me reading the long ones. I don't know. I don't mind the long ones. I like the information because we can answer the question better.
True. So don't listen to me.
The Sorento is not any... I don't think, is the Sorento any... No, the Sorento isn't any bigger.
It's the same size, yeah.
And the third row is tiny. I don't even know if you need a third row. We like the Sorento. The only thing about the Sorento, the newer model, are the seats are quite firm in the Sorento, aren't they? And Telluride.
I think it might have been the trim we got because we found the same thing with Telluride. And then over at Hyundai, the seats they had in the Hyundai were much more comfortable. So if you don't like the comfort level of the Sorento, try the Hyundai. It's the same platform underneath. Same basic footprint, same kind of seating configuration. Yeah. Both have a hybrid. One has a plug-in, the other one doesn't. But yes, I mean, if you like the product, back to what we said earlier, if you like the product and you've been happy with the brand, why not give them another shot?
For sure. Now, if you are interested in a V6, the Pilot is a great choice. I think that Honda's done a nice job with it. There's also the Passport, the new Passport, also with a V6. Doesn't seem like maybe you don't need a third row because it is smaller in the Sorento. And what was the other one I was thinking of?
The CX-90, Andrea?
Oh, the Nissan Pathfinder has a V6. I believe that's going to change because the QX80 went to a turbo 4, so that might be something that you could be interested in. If tomorrow you had to buy a new vehicle to live with because all your cars disappeared, what would you buy and why? New or used? Also, if it is a Mazda, what non-Mazda would you buy? If money was no object, would it change your choice? Well,
This comes up every once in a while. So if you had to buy one car, it depends what you're using it for. Like, are you using it for just for you to drive, or are you using it for all the family stuff? The interesting thing is that now our kids are older. We don't really use this. You know when we use this? When we go out for birthday dinners. Everybody piles in.
Which we need.
Which is 4 times a year.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if anybody comes in this car, it's like one child. Actually, you did take some kids somewhere last year, but we don't use it that much. So it would have to be sort of a quasi-functional vehicle. For me, it's an E39 BMW N5 would be my. I mean, I love a Porsche 911 GT3 Touring. I don't think I'd want to drive it every day though. So that's an old car, a collectible car. 400 horsepower, manual transmission, that would be mine. But I'm a weird guy.
So I'm going for new, and I'm going with money is not an object for us. So that's what I'm saying, because you said here, if money was no object. So I think, you know what? I think I'd get back into a Porsche Cayenne, probably Cayenne S. Or a GTS, and then, or a BMW X5. Like, I think BMW does a really good job. I like driving an SUV myself, so I think that I would do that. Love your show. Just saw the Vancouver Auto Show yesterday. I was not impressed at all and felt disappointed. I did not see Mazda, Honda, BMW, and Nissan booths at the show. What are your thoughts? Keep up the good work.
They said Nissan? Nissan was there. Nissan
was there because we saw the pickup truck, so Nissan was there. But you're right, Honda wasn't there, Mazda, BMW, Audi wasn't.
They had a dealer display.
A dealer display. Genesis had a dealer display. Record attendance at the Vancouver Auto Show.
Yeah, and the good news is there were more brands back. You're right, there weren't as many brands as we had in the old days.
Yeah. But
the ones who pulled out of auto shows first were the Germans. They back, I would say, about 10, 15 years ago, they started pulling out of the auto shows, and then that cascaded into other brands. I remember Mazda used to have a huge display. I went to the Toronto Auto Show one time, massive display. The good news is they went through this downturn where a lot of brands didn't partake, and then they've started to get a few brands back. It's very expensive to attend auto shows, and some brands want to put their money towards direct marketing to people who are actually interested in their car. So that's just something that they're doing. They're not spending the money on that.
Honda does participate in other auto shows. I mean, in the US, they were at the LA Auto Show. But Mazda is really not interested in participating in any auto shows anymore. They would rather, use their money for other things.
The other one is, not having German brands there. Like, all of the luxury German brands were there except for dealer displays, and it's not the same as a manufacturer supporting it. And not having Volkswagen there is a real miss, in my opinion, because Volkswagen is a mainline brand, and for them not to be there, Honda, Acura. The good thing is the Koreans came back, and Nissan was there. I did see the Nissan display.
Yeah, Nissan was there. Hello from a regular viewer from Ontario. Love the show. We've had Toyota Corolla for 8 years and now planning to upgrade to a luxury midsize SUV. We're debating between a certified pre-owned 2024 BMW X5, don't like the 2025 looks and also the price, and brand new 2025 Lexus RX 350h Ultra Luxury. I relate Lexus with reliability and resale value, but it's hard to ignore the BMW inline 6 power.
Well, the good news is, if you followed along here with all of the videos we've done on Consumer Reports, etc., they are actually coming up in terms of quality. So you can buy it knowing that they've definitely improved.
I really like the X5 a lot, and I'm with you too. My heart kind of says that inline 6 power is amazing, and it just handles incredibly well. It's engaging for an SUV. The Lexus is obviously going to have great resale value because it's also a hybrid. You know that it's reliable, but it doesn't handle like a BMW. So you have to decide what you want. What do you want to drive every single day? What would you pick, Zach?
What was the first choice again?
The Lexus RX.
Oh no, I'd be
hybrid.
BMW.
Yeah.
I know. I just heard Lexus. I'm just
Yeah.
but for me it would be the
RX.
BMW because the inline six.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Can't beat it.
Get it while you can. I think it's one of those deals too.
For sure. That's it for us. Thanks for all your questions. Thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.